You know that feeling, right? You get super fired up about a new goal, you go all in, and then a week or two later, that motivation just disappears. Well, today, we're going to break down something called the consistency mandate. It's a whole framework that promises to help you stick with your goals, not just for a little while, but forever. So let's just start with this question, because I think we've all been here. Think about the last time you were excited to start something. A new workout plan, learning an instrument, whatever. The first few days are awesome, right? You feel like you can do anything. But then, life happens. That initial spark fades, and that's when the real hard part kicks in. How do you keep going when it's not new and exciting anymore? Well, this whole cycle of getting hyped, starting strong, and then falling off, it actually has a name. We can call it the consistency paradox. And it's that super frustrating pattern that stops so many of our great ideas from ever becoming a reality. Okay, so here's the absolute root of the problem. We're all chasing motivation. But here's the thing about motivation. It's just an emotion. It's totally unreliable. It comes and goes. Consistency, on the other hand, that's a decision. It's a commitment you make. One creates these huge peaks and then these deep valleys of nothing, while the other just builds the slow, steady, and honestly, unstoppable momentum. So how in the world do we break out of that cycle? Well, we have to stop relying on feeling motivated. We have to stop playing that emotional lottery. Instead, we adopt a mandate. And I know it sounds simple, but this one little shift in your mindset, it changes literally everything. Let's get really, really clear on what a mandate actually is. This is not a goal, it's not a suggestion, it is definitely not a wish. Think of it like a personal law that you set for yourself, and it is completely non-negotiable. It's an action you commit to doing every single day, no matter what. It doesn't matter what your mood is, what your energy level is, or if you feel inspired or not. You just do it. And this, right here, this is the absolute heart of the whole idea. This isn't about being perfect. Come on, anybody can be consistent when they're having a great day. The real test and the real win is showing up on the bad days. It's all about keeping that promise to yourself, especially when it's the last thing you feel like doing. Okay, so this sounds great in theory, but how do we actually make it work? How do we make it practical? Well, it all comes down to three core pillars that really turn this from an idea into a system you can use in your real life. All right, so you can think of these three pillars as the engine that makes the whole mandate go. They are the non-negotiable rule, the minimum viable action, and the identity shift. Let's break down each one. Let's dig into pillar one, the non-negotiable rule. This basically means you take the decision-making out of the equation completely. You don't wake up in the morning and ask yourself, should I do my mandate today? That question doesn't exist anymore. You just do it. It's like gravity. You don't question it. It just is. Now, pillar two is kind of the secret weapon here. This is what makes it almost impossible to fail. Your mandated action, your minimum viable action, has to be absurdly small. I mean, so small, it's almost laughable. We're not talking go to the gym for an hour. We're talking put on your running shoes. Not write a chapter, but write one single sentence. It has to be so ridiculously easy that even on your absolute worst, most tired, most stressed out day, you simply cannot say no to it. And finally, we have the third pillar, and honestly, this is where the real magic happens. This is the identity shift. See, when you repeat a small action every single day, you're not just doing something. You start becoming someone. You stop trying to be a writer. You simply are a writer because you write. Your actions start to shape your identity, and that creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop that just keeps you going. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but one sentence a day, how is that going to get me anywhere meaningful? And that's a fair question. The answer lies in one of the most powerful forces in the universe, the compound effect. Just look at the difference here. When your effort is inconsistent, a lot one day, nothing the next, you get these small, random results. But with a consistent mandate, the growth isn't just a straight line up, it's exponential. Every tiny action builds on the one before it, and over time, that creates a massive, massive payoff. So here's the crucial point. A tiny 1% improvement each day, the exact kind your minimum viable action creates, it doesn't just add up, it compounds. At the end of 1 year, you're not just 365% better. You are over 37 times better than when you started. That is the absolutely staggering power of just showing up every single day. Okay, so we've gone through the theory. We've covered the why and the how.
But now comes the most important part of all, turning all this information into action, your action.
So, what does all this really mean for you? Well, it means freedom. It means you can finally stop waiting around for motivation to strike. It means you can start to trust the process instead of being a slave to your moods. It means you can actually start building the future you want for yourself, one tiny, unbreakable promise at a time.
So, we're going to end with a question that's really not an ending, it's a starting line for you. What is the one absurdly small promise you will mandate for yourself starting right now?